Emmerdale's newest villain, Dr. Caitlin Todd, is reportedly heading for an exit from the village as her dark storyline with Charity Dingle reaches a shocking turning point. Actress Caroline Harker is expected to leave the soap following the dramatic scenes. Dr. Todd has become a major source of trouble for medical student Jacob Sugden, who has endured ongoing bullying and mistreatment while working under her supervision. At the same time, she has been using a devastating secret to manipulate Charity after discovering that baby Leyla was conceived during an affair with Ross Barton, rather than through the arrangement everyone believed. After demanding £100,000 in exchange for keeping Leyla's true parentage hidden, Todd's behaviour is set to become even more disturbing in a major new storyline beginning this Sunday. As the plot progresses, reports suggest that Dr. Todd's time in the village may be limited, with The Sun claiming that Caroline Harker is preparing to leave the series. However, details surrounding the filming and timing of her final scenes have not yet been confirmed. The storyline follows Charity's attempts to stand up to Todd's blackmail. Believing she could call the doctor's bluff, Charity challenges her to reveal the truth to Sarah herself, hoping it would put an end to the threats once and for all. Instead, Todd retaliates in a way that leaves Charity deeply shaken and struggling to cope. The ordeal leaves her feeling increasingly alone as she wrestles with the emotional impact of what has happened. According to an Emmerdale spokesperson, the weeks ahead will focus on Charity's difficult journey as she tries to process the traumatic experience. She will face a painful decision between opening up to those closest to her or keeping her suffering hidden while attempting to deal with it on her own. Kerry finds herself caught up in yet another risky money-making scheme in upcoming Emmerdale episodes, this time with the help of an unexpected accomplice. Kerry has never been afraid of bending the rules when it comes to making cash. From tricking her former partner out of expensive jewellery during a cruise ship scam to becoming involved in a tax-related scheme through her marriage to Eric Pollard, she has plenty of experience with questionable ventures. Despite her history, Kerry isn't entirely without morals. When she stumbles across a suspicious situation involving Caleb Milligan, her first instinct is to warn him about what's happening. However, Caleb soon gives her a reason to reconsider. The trouble begins when Jai Sharma leaves town and asks Kerry to look after his son Archie. One day, she has to leave work early to collect him from school, but Caleb reacts badly, criticising her commitment to the job. To make matters worse, he praises Billy Fletcher for bringing in new business and appears to value him far more as an employee. Already annoyed, Kerry becomes even more frustrated with Caleb's attitude. At the same time, Caleb receives a phone call from his daughter Steph, who appears to be asking for financial help. Trusting Billy completely, Caleb hands over his banking details and instructs him to transfer £5,000 to Steph as a deposit for a flat in London. Believing everything is legitimate, Billy carries out the transfer without hesitation. Elsewhere, Ruby Milligan casually mentions to Charity Dingle that Steph is currently enjoying a trip to Thailand, making it clear she isn't searching for property in London. That revelation immediately raises questions about who really requested the money. The answer turns out to be far more surprising than anyone expected. Archie has secretly used artificial intelligence technology to create a convincing imitation of Steph's voice. Shortly after the fake phone call, the £5,000 payment arrives in his account. Kerry overhears him listening to the AI recording and later discovers the unexpected funds sitting in his bank account. The pieces quickly begin to fall into place. According to actress Laura Norton, Kerry confronts Archie and demands answers, deeply unsettled by what she has uncovered. She finds the entire situation disturbing and struggles to understand how he managed to pull off the deception. At first, Kerry considers exposing the truth and warning Caleb, but after another unpleasant encounter with him, her attitude changes completely. Feeling disrespected and dismissed, she decides Caleb deserves whatever consequences come his way. Rather than helping him, she chooses to stay quiet and let events unfold. Realizing how talented Archie is with technology, Kerry even begins to see potential in using his skills for her own revenge. Of course, secrets rarely stay hidden in the village for long. If the scam is eventually uncovered, Kerry could find herself facing serious consequences, particularly when Jai learns what she knew. Laura Norton has also hinted that Kerry and Jai may not be built to last. She suggested that while the pair care about each other, their personalities and approaches to life are very different, raising questions about whether they can overcome future challenges together. Could this latest deception be the scandal that finally drives them apart? Ross is left heartbroken in upcoming Emmerdale scenes when Laurel abruptly ends their romance, just as he begins imagining a future together. What started as a casual fling soon becomes something much more meaningful for Ross. While he initially enjoyed keeping things light, he gradually develops genuine feelings and starts hoping their relationship could become more serious. Laurel, however, sees things very differently. According to actress Charlotte Bellamy, the romance burns brightly but briefly before Laurel decides she's had enough and wants to move on. For Ross, the split comes as a painful shock. Over recent weeks, the pair have enjoyed a secret relationship that grew out of spending time together during salsa dancing lessons. While Ross has become increasingly invested, Laurel has always viewed it as something temporary and uncomplicated. As his feelings deepen, Ross decides he would like to take things to the next level and asks Laurel out on a proper date. The invitation immediately makes Laurel realize that their expectations are completely different. Having previously been hurt in a past relationship, she was only looking for a distraction and a chance to enjoy herself without any emotional commitment. Charlotte explains that Laurel viewed the relationship as a way to avoid getting too emotionally involved after her previous heartbreak. Once she realizes Ross wants something more meaningful, she decides ending things is the fairest option. The rejection is a major blow for Ross, who never expected Laurel to be the one calling time on their romance. Despite enjoying their time together, Laurel ultimately chooses to walk away rather than continue something that could lead Ross on. Her decision doesn't go down well with Nicola, who thinks Laurel should have simply enjoyed the relationship for what it was, rather than ending it so suddenly. Meanwhile, Laurel is completely unaware that a separate misunderstanding is about to create even more trouble for her. Kim Tate spots Laurel sharing a close moment with Sam Dingle and mistakenly assumes there is something romantic going on between them. In reality, Laurel is simply helping him with dance lessons. After sharing what she believes she witnessed with Lydia, rumors begin to spread and the situation threatens to spiral out of control. With gossip circulating and her reputation potentially at risk, Laurel may soon have no choice but to reveal the truth about her secret relationship with Ross. Will she come clean before the misunderstanding causes even more damage? Cain Dingle makes a significant breakthrough in his recovery from prostate cancer in upcoming Emmerdale scenes, taking an important step not only for himself, but also for his family. Following surgery last month, Cain has struggled to adjust to the physical changes brought on by the procedure. The recovery process has been far more difficult than he expected, leaving him frustrated and embarrassed. One of the first challenges he faced was living with a catheter. When it was eventually removed, Cain felt optimistic that life was beginning to return to normal and decided to celebrate at the pub. However, the evening took an unfortunate turn when he drank too much and found himself stumbling home. During the journey, he urgently needed the toilet and relieved himself by the roadside. His actions were witnessed by PC Swirling and another officer, who arrested him for public urination and disorderly behavior while intoxicated. Although spending the night in a police cell was unpleasant, the incident damaged Cain's confidence far more than the arrest itself. Losing control of his bladder in such a public way left him deeply humiliated. A few days later, Cain attempted to get back to work, but his recovery continued to cause problems. Shortly after leaving home, he was forced to rush back inside to use the bathroom. Because the normal warning signs aren't always there anymore, he has become increasingly anxious about leaving the house. As a result, Cain has started withdrawing from everyday life in an effort to avoid further embarrassing situations. His behavior is beginning to affect those closest to him, especially Moira and Kyle. While Moira understands the fears and frustrations driving his actions, Kyle has been left confused by his father's distance and has started to believe that Cain simply doesn't want to spend time with him. In today's episode, Moira encouraged Cain to take Kyle back to school, but he refused. Focused entirely on his own worries, Cain failed to recognize how hurtful his response might seem to his son. Later, Liam stopped by to offer some advice. The village doctor explained that Cain may need to accept practical solutions to help manage his condition while his recovery continues. Cain was resistant to the idea, insisting that the suggested adjustments didn't feel like something he could ever accept. Liam sympathized with his struggles, but reminded him that his circumstances have changed and that both he and his family deserve a better quality of life. Although Cain often finds Liam irritating, he knew there was truth in what his friend was saying. When Moira returned home later that day, she discovered Cain taking action by ordering leak-proof underwear. It was a major milestone in his recovery, showing that he was finally beginning to put his pride aside and focus on moving forward. Meanwhile, Kyle remains unaware of the progress his father is making and continues to drift further away from him. Instead, he has been growing closer to Graham Foster. Graham recently revealed that he has enrolled Kyle in the cadets, hoping the experience will provide structure and help steer him in a more positive direction. Knowing about Kyle's role in the Emmerdale farm fire, Graham believes the youngster needs guidance and a fresh start. The question now is how Cain will react when he eventually learns what Kyle has been keeping from him. Emmerdale is shown every weekday at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and can also be watched on demand via ITVX.